Looking good. Going good. Looking good. Going good. Looking good. Going good.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a health education and support worker at RhED, which is resourcing health and education in the sex industry. I guess since I've started at RhED, the thing that's changed about my opinion of sex work and the sex industry and sex workers is just how diverse the industry is. I guess I had a bit of a view that there were street sex workers and brothel workers, but I didn't fully comprehend just how diverse the industry is. So from workers working in a brothel to private escorts to the street sex work industry, it's really, really broad, and I think the diversity is something to celebrate. I think the biggest thing would probably be the stigma that sex workers face, and they can face stigma and discrimination in the workplace when looking for work, in the health services industry when people are trying to receive any sort of medical or health professional attendance, that there can be stigma and judgment from the people that they're trying to get a job from or to receive any medical attention from. And also from the broader community, there's still a lot of old-fashioned and archaic views about the sex industry, and people who don't necessarily see it as a job or see it as work, and so that's where some issues can arise for workers because of other people's judgment. Sex workers can face similar issues to anyone else in the population, and the general population can of course face mental health problems, drug and alcohol issues. They might be affected by homelessness at some point in their life. Sex workers are no different, and so that's not to say that sex workers have a higher risk of any of these things. They're just like the rest of the population. But certainly, you know, mental health, drug and alcohol, homelessness. My one suggestion to the current government would be decriminalisation. I think to decriminalise the industry would make it safer for sex workers and for sex workers' clients. It would remove some of the stigma about it being a criminalised issue originally, and so I think it's really important that street sex work become not a crime, and also for escorts and private workers who are seeing clients in their home. I think it's something that needs to be looked at. Look, we want you to have sex. We reckon having sex is fantastic, but I think it's really important to do so safely. So use a condom or a dam or some other barrier when you're having skin-to-skin contact. And in order to stay safe and to keep sex fun, it's important for your sexual health to be really good. And so if you are having a lot of sex or you haven't had sex for a while but you want to get back into the game, go and have an STI test, go and get your sexual health checked out, and then you'll be free to have as much sex as you possibly want to have. Hi, welcome to RhED. Come in. This is our drop-in space where you're more than welcome to come, chill out, have some food when there's food available. Come through. That cupboard in there is our needle exchange, so you can come in for clean needles and syringes, and there's also condoms and lube and other stuff in there that might be useful for you. Here we have our laundry where you can drop in and wash your clothes. And the shower, which you're welcome to come in and use. Toilet. And in here is the clinic room where on one particular afternoon of the week, the sexual health nurse is available for people to have STI testing and to chat about your general sexual health. RhED is a service for sex workers in Victoria. RhED, spelled R-H-E-D, stands for Resourcing Health and Education in the Sex Industry. We've been around for almost 30 years now. RhED started off as the Prostitutes Collective of Victoria in the early 80s, and the name changed to RhED when the funding was transferred to Inner South Community Health, and we're a part of Inner South Community Health. One of the main things that we provide for all sex workers, so male, female and trans sex workers, is information about sexual health. Sex workers are experts in their own sexual health, but we can provide some of the resources that sex workers need in order to have that knowledge and to educate others. One of the main things that we also talk to workers about, either when they're starting out in the industry or when they've been around in the industry for a long time, is about legal rights. Here in Victoria, we work under the Sex Work Act, which is pretty strict. It's a pretty strict licensing regime that we work under here, and so people do need to know their rights about how they can work, where they can work, and what they need to work. RhED, when we were the Prostitutes Collective of Victoria, were the first sex worker organisation worldwide to start the Ugly Mugs program, and now it's rolled out in organisations across the world. Ugly Mugs serves to warn other sex workers about violent individuals. We take down the details of a particular incident which has happened, summarise them and circulate that to the rest of the industry so they can be aware of who to look out for. It's a really important tool that we have to let the wider public as well as sex workers know that violence against sex workers is completely unacceptable. From time to time, sex workers might indicate to us off their own accord that they want to explore areas of work outside of the sex industry. We have some case managers that can support you to link in with job service agencies, support you to get into different courses that you might be interested in exploring, and just work with you to identify your career and long-term goals. We never tell anyone that they need to stop working or anything like that. It's just if they want to explore some of the different options or perhaps reduce the hours that they're working in the sex industry. So don't hesitate to give us a call if you need any information at all about the sex industry. We're here for you. We're here for all sex workers. Give us a ring.